Something strange is happening in the wild. Scientists are discovering creatures that no one knew existed. Get ready to see the most bizarre animals recently found on our planet. Blue stick insect from Madagascar. This insect looks like a stick, but wait till you see what the male turns into. Deep in the dry forests of northern Madagascar lives a strange creature called the Acreoptera monga. Most stick insects try to hide by blending into trees, but not this guy. When the male grows up, he changes into a shocking bright blue. Scientists believe this electric color helps him attract a female, but some also think the color might be a warning to predators, like saying, "Hey, I taste bad," because of the leaves he eats. Now here's the fun twist. The female doesn't glow up at all. She stays brown and boring, just like a dried twig, which helps her hide better. Both the male and female have wings, but they can't fly. Instead, they use them to make a sound when scared, like a built-in alarm system. These stick insects eat different kinds of leaves and live only in protected forests in Madagascar. Lady Gaga bug found after 20 years. It all started with a tiny insect hiding in a museum for nearly 20 years. Back in the early 1990s, someone collected a strange bug near the Pacific coast of Nicaragua, but no one paid attention to it until 2012, when a PhD student finally studied it at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History. What he discovered was shocking. The insect had such strange features that it didn't match any known species. So the student decided to name it Gaga. Yes, after pop star Lady Gaga, because of its wild and unusual look, just like her bold-fashioned style. This little bug is truly one of a kind. It has dark purple and red colors with two horn-like spikes sticking out of its back, like tiny shoulder pads. Some of its traits come from insects in both the New World and Old World, making it super rare. Unlike similar bugs, it does have an extra vein in its wing, which shows a weird mix of features. Sadly, its DNA couldn't be studied because it was too old, but scientists are now searching for living ones to learn more. One thing's clear, this is not just a bug, it's a fashion icon of the insect world. Woolly devil, plant found after 50 years. This tiny plant has a big secret. Deep in the desert of Big Bend National Park, Texas, a strange little flower just made history. It's called Ovicula barradiata, but people are calling it the woolly devil because of its fuzzy white hairs. It's so small, only 1 to 3 centimeters tall, that it went unnoticed for years. It grows on rough limestone ground hidden under the desert sun. Its name, Ovicula, even means tiny sheep in Latin, and that soft woolly look is exactly why it was given this name. Now here's where the story gets exciting. In March 2024, a park volunteer named Deb Manley was out hiking when she spotted something strange. She uploaded a photo of the plant on iNaturalist, and soon, plant experts across the country were buzzing. This wasn't just a new plant species, it was so unique that it was placed in its own brand new genus within the sunflower family. That makes this the first discovery of a new plant genus in a U.S. national park in almost 50 years. Deadly ocean creature that's not what it seems. It looks like a jellyfish, but it's something much stranger. The Portuguese man-of-war is not a single animal. It's actually a whole colony of tiny, identical creatures living together as one. They stick together like a team because they can't survive alone. Each one has a job. Some help it move, others help it eat, and they all work like one creepy alien body with long tentacles. They float on the ocean's surface, drifting in blobs and using their venomous tentacles to catch prey. Their sting? It's powerful, painful, and can be deadly. Now here's the real danger. These things don't just stay in the deep sea. They sometimes wash up on beaches looking like pretty rainbow jelly, but even a tentacle that's been torn off can still sting for hours. If you're stung, you might feel intense pain, and in rare cases it could lead to shock or even heart problems. So if you ever see one of these glowing blobs in the water or even on the sand, back away fast. Don't touch it, don't poke it, just stay safe and get out of the water. Strange glider of the jungle. In the dark forests of Southeast Asia, a mysterious animal silently jumps from tree to tree without making a sound. It's called the Sunda flying lemur, also known as the kugo. This animal doesn't actually fly, but it glides so smoothly you'd think it had wings. With only two kinds left in the wild, the sunda and the Philippine flying lemur, these shy, night-loving creatures spend their lives high up in the trees, far from human eyes. They're small, only around 14 to 16 inches long, and weigh between 2 to 4.5 pounds. But when it comes to gliding, they are unbeatable. Some of them have even been seen gliding an incredible 490 feet in one go. What makes their glide so special is their amazing skin. They have a stretchy flap of skin between their front and back legs that acts like a parachute. Even their fingers and toes are webbed, helping them float through the air like a leaf in the wind. At first, scientists thought these creatures were cousins of bats, but with deeper research, it turns out they're actually closer to primates, just like us. Isn't it wild how one strange-looking animal can hold such surprising secrets? Spider with a long neck. This spider looks like it time-traveled from the dinosaur age. The pelican spider is found in Madagascar, South Africa, and Australia, and it's named for a strange reason. It has a long neck and jaws that look just like a pelican's beak. But this funny-looking design isn't just for show. It's actually deadly. Unlike normal spiders that wait in their webs, the pelican spider goes hunting. And it doesn't hunt flies. It hunts other spiders. It uses its long neck and sharp jaws to stab from a safe distance so it doesn't get hurt during the fight. Here's the wildest part. This creepy little hunter hasn't changed much in over 165 million years. That means when dinosaurs were still stomping around the earth, the pelican spider was already perfecting its attack moves. Fossils of these spiders look nearly the same as the ones we find today, and just recently, scientists in Madagascar found 18 new types of pelican spiders hiding in the forests. It's like nature never needed to update them. They were built to be perfect killers from the start. Tiny deer with tusk teeth. This little deer looks like it came straight out of a fantasy world. Deep inside the thick forests of northern Myanmar, a tiny deer was discovered in the late 1990s. It's called the leaf muntjac, or sometimes the fechabun muntjac. It's also been found in parts of northeastern India. This rare animal stands only 20 inches tall and weighs around 24 pounds. What makes it even stranger is that it has long, sharp teeth like tusks and tiny antlers, only about 1.3 inches long. These deer are super shy and live all alone in the middle of evergreen forest, where they quietly eat fruits and leaves. But here's the sad part. This rare deer is in danger. Even though it stayed hidden from humans for so long, it now faces threats from hunters and the destruction of its forest's home. These tiny creatures don't live in many places, and the few forests they do live in are disappearing fast. Scientists still don't know much about them because they're so hard to find. But one thing's clear. They play an important role in their environment by spreading seeds. If their forests vanish, so might this mysterious miniature deer. World's smallest chameleon. This tiny creature looks like it belongs in a fairy tale. It's called the Brocchitia nana, and yes, it's a real chameleon that can sit on the tip of your finger. Found in 2021 deep in the rainforests of northern Madagascar, this little guy is no bigger than 22 millimeter from nose to tail. That's right, the adult male is the smallest reptile ever discovered on Earth. Even fully grown, he's smaller than a paperclip. And the females? They are a little bigger, up to 29 millimeter long. But there's something strange about them. These chameleons don't really change color like others do. Instead, they stay a brownish color to blend in with the forest floor. They live quietly among the leaves, hunting tiny bugs like mites and springtails. Because they're so small and so well hidden, scientists have a tough time even finding them. But when they do, it's like spotting a little treasure in the jungle. Isn't that amazing? See-through frogs that show their hearts. These tiny frogs look like something out of a science experiment called glass frogs. They're small tree dwellers with skin so clear you can actually see their hearts beating inside. Most of the time, they're bright green with almost see-through bellies, showing their heart, liver, and even their guts moving around. It sounds strange, but that's just how nature made them. They spend most of the year high in the trees, hiding in the leaves, but when it's time to find love, they climb down to the rivers and streams, showing off their best moves to attract a mate. Now here's the weird part. Some experts believe their see-through bodies help them impress other frogs. A healthy heart and working stomach might just be frog romance goals. But even though they look fragile and adorable, humans can actually hurt them just by touching. Our hands can carry germs or oils that damage their sensitive skin, so as cool as they are, it's best to admire them with your eyes and keep those fingers to yourself. Mysterious new jellyfish found deep in the ocean. Something truly strange was found deep beneath the waves off the coast of California. Scientists exploring the dark waters of Monterey Bay came across a jellyfish that no one had ever seen before. This new deep-sea creature, later named Atolla reynoldsi, was first spotted back in 2014 by remote-operated underwater robots, but it wasn't officially recognized as a new species until 2022. Is named after Jeff Reynolds, a volunteer known for protecting the ocean. The deep sea is a place full of secrets, and this new jellyfish proves there's still so much left to discover. This jellyfish belongs to a group called the crown jellyfish family, but it doesn't look like the others. While most in its family have one long tentacle, this one has a full circle of shorter tentacles and a weird cross-shaped stomach that no other jellyfish in its group has. It lives very deep in the ocean, over 1,000 meters down, where it's dark and almost untouched by humans. Only a few of these have ever been seen, which makes people wonder, if this strange creature was hiding there all along, what else might still be waiting in the deep? Biggest killer spider found in Australia. Something terrifying just crawled into the spotlight in Australia. Locals in Newcastle had been seeing giant funnel web spiders for years, but in 2025, experts finally confirmed this was a brand new species. It's called the Newcastle funnel web spider, or Atrax criscanzini, and people nicknamed it Big Boy for a reason. This spider isn't just big, it's fat, fast, and full of deadly venom. The one who brought it to the world's attention was a spider lover named Kane Christensen. He studied these strange giants for years, and because of him, the spider was named in his honor. Now here's where it gets really scary. The male spiders can grow up to 9.2 centimeter in leg span. That's bigger than most funnel webs ever seen. Their fangs are so strong they can stab through a human fingernail. And their venom? It's loaded with neurotoxins that can mess with your nervous system in minutes. Luckily, since the 1980s, Australia has had an anti-venom that works. So while these monsters still creep people out, no one has died from one in decades, but getting bitten, that's still a nightmare you don't want. Tiny shrew found after 100 years. Something unbelievable happened in the snowy mountains of California in 2024. 3 college students were out on a field trip near Mono Lake when they set some baited traps, just simple things like cat food and mealworms. But what they caught left everyone shocked. It was a strange, tiny animal no one had seen alive before. They quickly grabbed their cameras and took the first ever photos of this creature in the wild. This animal is called the Mount Lyell shrew, and it's as small as your finger, only about 9 to 10 centimeters long and weighs just 2 to 5 grams. It has grayish-brown fur, a long snout, and sharp teeth, kind of like a mini mole. The scientists first discovered it back in 1902, but for more than 100 years, no one had ever managed to find one alive again until that cold November day in 2024. Smiling turtle of the temples. This little turtle always looks like it's smiling, but its life is full of secrets. Known as the black marsh turtle, or the Siamese temple turtle, it's a shy creature from Southeast Asia. It's small, only around 17 to 20 centimeters long, with a smooth black shell and a slightly curved mouth that makes it look like it's always happy. You might spot faint yellow marks around its head and neck, too. These turtles hide in muddy swamps, slow-moving ponds, and rice fields in places like Thailand, Malaysia, and Indonesia. During the day, they stay hidden in thick plants, and at night they come out to search for food like insects, worms, small fish, fruits, and even plants. But here's something even more special. These turtles are seen as holy in some parts of Asia. In Thailand, monks release them into temple ponds, believing they carry the souls of people who died saving others from drowning. That's why they're also called Siamese temple turtles. Sadly, their numbers are dropping fast. Wetlands are being destroyed for cities and farming, and the turtles are being taken for illegal pet markets and old-style medicines. Even with their sacred status, these smiling turtles are in danger and they need help to survive. Grumpy little hunter. This tiny fish has a big attitude. Meet the grumpy dwarf goby, a newly discovered fish that shocked scientists in the Red Sea. Even though it was finally collected in 2022, no one had seen it before, even during detailed reef surveys near Alith, Saudi Arabia. It wasn't officially named until 2024, and yes, it really does look grumpy, with a downturned mouth and a fierce little face that gave it its name. But what really helps this fish hide? Its bright red color blends perfectly with red coral and algae, making it nearly invisible in the reef. But don't let its small size fool you. This little goby has a mouth full of sharp teeth. It uses those teeth to chomp down on tiny sea creatures hiding in the reef. These fish are masters of hiding, slipping into cracks, holes, and the overhangs of coral walls, sometimes as deep as 53 meters underwater. They're so sneaky and tiny that scientists missed them for years. Turns out the smallest creatures can keep the biggest secrets. Frog that raises babies in its mouth. This tiny frog from the forests of Chile and Argentina has a shocking parenting secret. Known as Darwin's frog, it was discovered by Charles Darwin himself during his famous sea journey. But what makes this frog truly unforgettable isn't when it was found, it's how the father takes care of his babies. Once the eggs are fertilized, the male does something no one expects. He guards them carefully until they start to wiggle. Then, instead of leaving them behind, he swallows them into his throat pouch. That's right, the tadpoles grow inside his vocal sac, feeding on yolk and fluids from the pouch walls. After nearly 6 weeks, the tiny froglets jump out of their dad's mouth, fully formed and ready to explore the world. Sounds like something from a sci-fi movie. Zombie fungus that controls spiders. This creepy story starts deep inside a cave in Northern Ireland. During the BBC's Winter Watch show, something strange caught everyone's eye. A spider behaving weirdly, hanging in the open and covered in white fuzz. That fuzz turned out to be a brand new species of fungus discovered in 2021 named Gibellula attenboroughii, after the famous naturalist Sir David Attenborough. What makes this fungus terrifying is not just how it looks, but how it works. It doesn't just grow on the spider, it gets inside, takes control of the spider's body, and slowly changes everything. Here's where it gets truly horrifying. Once inside, the fungus forces the spider to climb out of its hidden home and move into open spaces like walls or cave ceilings, almost like a zombie under a spell. This is how the fungus spreads its spores, using the spider's body like a puppet. Eventually, the spider dies in that exposed place, helping the fungus grow and infect more victims. It's a real-life horror movie playing out in the wild, and the spider never stands a chance. Psychedelic frogfish mystery. Deep under the coral waters near Indonesia, there lives a fish that doesn't swim like others. It walks. The psychedelic frogfish is one weird little creature. It uses its fins like legs and hops along the seafloor like a strange underwater frog. But the real shocker? Its skin is covered in swirling orange and white patterns that look like they came straight out of a painting. Each one has a different pattern, just like a fingerprint. That wild design isn't just for show, it helps them blend into the coral and sneak up on their prey. But here's the sad part. These amazing fish are disappearing fast. Because of coral reef destruction and rising ocean temperatures, their home is slowly dying. That means this rare fish, already hard to find, might vanish completely. The ocean could lose one of its weirdest and most fascinating creatures if we don't protect their underwater world soon. Headless wonder of the ocean. This creature isn't from a sci-fi movie, it's real and it lives in the ocean. Meet the Sacoglossum sea slug, a tiny sea animal with an ability so strange it sounds made up. When in danger, this sea slug doesn't just drop a tail or leg like other animals, it actually removes its own head from its body. That's right, the slug leaves behind everything, even its organs, just to survive. But here's the craziest part. The sea slug's head doesn't die. Instead, it stays alive and starts to grow a whole new body. In just 3 weeks, a fresh body, complete with a new heart, grows right from the head. This is one of nature's wildest survival tricks, and scientists are still shocked at how it even works. A sea slug that ditches its body and grows it back? That's next level weird. The flying fluff that's disappearing fast. They look like something out of a fantasy movie, a fluffy mix between a koala and a possum with big eyes and soft fur. But the greater glider is very real and lives high up in the forests of eastern Australia. It doesn't walk or run like other animals. Instead, it silently glides from tree to tree using stretchy skin flaps from its elbows to ankles. This weird but amazing trick helps them travel through the forest without touching the ground. They live alone, sleep in tree holes during the day, and only come out at night. Each glider has a few cozy spots spread across up to 7 hectares, and they line their homes with leaves and bark. But behind their cute looks is the sad truth. These animals eat a very specific diet, mostly young eucalyptus leaves that are high in nitrogen. That makes them super picky and sensitive to changes in their forest home. Over the last 20 years, their numbers have dropped badly, by up to 80% in some areas. Logging, land clearing, and huge bushfires caused by climate change have destroyed the forests they depend on. In 2022, the greater glider was officially listed as endangered, and as those old forests disappear, these silent gliders are fading with them. The world is still full of surprises, and these strange creatures prove it. Which one amazed you the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more unbelievable discoveries.